Welcome to the 9 News Business Buzz. I'm Ryan Frazier, 9 News Business Expert. For the last few years, buying a car felt nearly impossible because there was very little inventory. Now the cars are back on the lot, but buyers are pulling back. A new report from the Colorado Auto Dealers Association shows that car buying in the state dropped more than 18% in the first quarter of this year. To break down exactly what's happening on the showroom floor and what it means for your wallet, I'm joined by Matthew Groves, President and CEO of the Colorado Auto Dealers Association. Matthew, welcome back on the program.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
All right, Matthew, let's get into this. Now, car sales for the first quarter are down 18.4%. The average car price is hovering roughly $50,000. What's going on in the markets? Are people just being priced out with inflation and high costs and just deciding they're not going to buy cars right now? What's going on?
Well, you know, the world moves a lot faster than the reports do, right? So if you think back to the first quarter, the Strait of Hormuz was completely closed. The war with Iran was a little bit newer. We have seen as the months go on and we come into the summertime here that sales are starting to rebound. Now, we're still down year over year, but May and June were certainly better than January and February. And so I think we're optimistic about that. But, you know, like you were saying, in the mind of consumer, this is going to be a really big purchase. I'm really going to have to dig deep to make a new car happen. So I think the things that they're looking at are affordability and reliability. And so, you know, certain brands have the reputation of being lower maintenance than other brands. Whether that's true or not, they have the reputation, and you'll see those brands are really starting to soar here as some of the Asian automakers are in the top 3 for the past 5 or 6 months consecutively.
Yeah. How are some of your members, the auto dealers, dealing with this slump in sales? How are they managing through this process right now?
It's definitely a time for creativity. What can we do at the dealer level that will entice people to buy cars? And so there's a lot of teamwork going on between the consumer and the dealer to say, what are your individual needs and how can we make this car happen for you, be it financing or warranties or whatever will give the consumer that peace of mind that this is a decision that they want to go through with, knowing that the commitment's going to be 5 to 6 years of paying off a vehicle.
I like that word, teamwork, between the dealers and the consumers. That's a good thing, I hope. I want to shift to EVs, electric vehicles, because as you know, Matthew, the federal EV credit, we'll call it, has dried up completely. Even the state of Colorado has dried up from $3,500 credit for EVs to $750 base credit. Without that financial cushion that so many people have come to look forward to and rely on, is the natural consumer demand still there for electric vehicles?
You know, there is a movement to get more environmentally friendly. And at one point when the government was giving away all this money, yes, that lied with EVs. But even today when there's not significant money out there for EVs, people are still moving heavily towards hybrids. I want to say in quarter one, we were almost 16.5% hybrids, and that's without any incentive at all. So some of the things you're seeing, these plug-in electric hybrids, some of the, like the RAV4, for instance, is very, very popular right now. People want to make that move towards environmental efficiency, even if they're not going all the way towards battery electric.
Yeah, but I'm glad you made that segue because hybrids, traditional hybrids, are still holding strong with 16.8% market share. The top 3 sellers overall remain Ford 150s, Toyota Tacomas, and Ram 1500s on the truck side. So it's an interesting, I'll call it paradox, because on the one hand, you hear folks who are very concerned about gas prices and inflation and overall higher costs, but then we have hybrids, which obviously are part electric, part gas, and trucks, Ford F-150s, Toyota Tacomas, Ram 1500s, to say that again, which are still performing fairly well. What's going on there?
Well, I mean, listen, it's Colorado, right? Nobody's ever going to give up their trucks, and I don't think that we expect them to. I think we're looking at a car purchase as an individual transaction, when in reality for a family, it's generally a 2-car family. And so there will be one big vehicle that they can do the things that they need to do in, and then there'll be a daily commuter. Those are the ones that are tending to go smaller, going hybrid and going electric. And so, you know, I think we talked earlier, at one point we were both 3-car families, and we've now downsized that to 2 cars. That really is a cost decision, but between those 2 cars, you still got one that can meet your everyday needs, be it towing or hauling or grocery shopping and sports, and one that you can just drive to the office in, and you're still getting, you know, 40 miles a gallon north.
Yeah, I think it's important to put the trends, if you will, in Colorado in context with the national trends. From the data I've seen, the national sales forecast is tracking that we're coming at around 16 million this year compared to 17 million last year. So nationally, you're looking at a drop in total car sales.
For sure. And you hear that number 18.1% as a decrease for Colorado, and that sounds scary because that's a big number. But in reality, we were outperforming the national average for so long that we had further to fall just to come back to normal. So I don't think we're necessarily alarmed by that. I think last time I heard it said it's something we're watching. And as we're watching into months 5 and 6 of the year, those numbers are starting to come back. So we're leveling out for sure. But on a national level, as manufacturers start to figure out what mix of cars they're going to be producing over the next couple of years, you are starting to see it go from battery electric back to the hybrids. And so I think that really probably is where the inventory is going to be, and therefore where the deals are going to be at the manufacturer and the dealer level.
Let's talk about the deals, especially for consumers and the impact on consumers. Now, when car sales tend to stall out, Matthew, fewer people tend to trade in their older vehicles, which can restrict supply. So that potentially means that even the cost of used cars could see some rise as people buy less new cars. I'd like to hear your thought on, $50,000 average cost for a new car. Used car prices could potentially go up as well. Is there any relief in the market for consumers as it relates to purchasing a newer vehicle, whether it be new or used?
Sure. I don't think it necessarily needs to be price relief in the manufacturer of vehicles. When you see cars sitting on lots for too long, the manufacturers and the dealers will offer incentives, margins will compress. Sometimes they even settle loss just to move the unit. So that total sales price can come down without having to move the manufacturing numbers. With that being said, that's one of the reasons manufacturers are pulling back from EVs. It takes 1/9 of the amount of rare earth minerals to make a hybrid battery that it does a battery electric. So they can produce a lot more vehicles at the same cost if they just come back towards hybrid. And then, we also have the issue of people going from 3-car families to 2. That's putting some more used cars in the market that we didn't anticipate. Sometimes the dealers will go to auction and bring in cars from Utah or Wyoming or other states that we can also supplement our used car market with. But, it is a national market, even though we look at it in terms of Colorado, and there are things that we can do to keep prices down here by supplementing with cars from other states.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, Matthew. Whether it's shifting incentives or the reality of a $50,000 price tag, the math of buying a car is clearly changing for everyday Coloradans. Matthew Groves, President and CEO of the Colorado Auto Dealers Association, thanks so much for your insights this morning. Always great to have you on the show.